welcome back to my channel. And I didn't realize how many books I have in front of me, and all of these are just books that I bought with my friend. And when the local library was giving away books for $1, so I got a bunch of books for like $1 or less. So we're gonna dig into all the books that I've got, and also I got a few from my local bookstore. There's one near our town, and I really wanted to get some of these books. And so yeah, so I'm gonna go by series first. Even though I've read some of these, some of them I haven't. Majority I have not read yet. So the first 3 books are a series that I read way back when, and if you guys don't know about this series, then a lot of you guys should know about this series. So it's The Hunger Games. I never owned the entire collection before, so I finally own them. They are used. All of these books are pre-owned, but I am so happy that I got them. I believe I got them all at the bookstore. Yeah, I didn't buy them from the library, so they were a little bit the more pricey side. I think at most they were like $3 or so. So I am probably going to end up reading these again so I can do a review on these books. Also, ever since I bought all of these books, I'm running out of space on my little tiny shelf, and I don't even have all of my books here with me in my apartment. Some of them are with a friend of mine, but I am so happy to have this in my collection. I don't know why I never bought them. I guess because, well, at the time I was living with one of my relatives, and she had all 3 of them. So I just read hers rather than buy my own, but now I finally own them. So I'm really excited about reading these. If any of you have never read The Hunger Games, it's basically a dystopian world where these districts and these, they nominate children to fight against each other in a battle to become basically for entertainment. And it's written by Suzanne Collins, and also she is coming out with a prequel to this series, and I'm not really sure if I want to read it because it's based off of President Snow's his upbringing, and I don't really know, I can't remember if it's his upbringing or if he's a mentor, and I think it's called Birdsong, and I don't really know if I want to read it. I heard it's coming out soon, but I'm kind of skeptical on reading that. Then I have another infamous series that I never read, and I don't know why I bought it, but I bought all of them. They were actually really inexpensive. I think I got them all for like $1 or less than $1. I think I got them for like 85 cents or something like that. This one I paid a little bit more for though, because I got it at the bookstore that I bought it at, so it was $4. But it's the Twilight series. I never read Twilight. I actually did watch, I believe, the first and second movie, and then I watched a bit of the last movie, and that was about it. So I bought all of them, and so the harder covers, which this is going to be interesting to hold, all 4 of these. The 3 hard ones were actually from the library, and they're actually in good condition, and I'm really surprised that they were selling them. I think they just had like extra copies, so yeah. But these, I believe they were like 85 cents or 70 cents, and that is really inexpensive, so that's why I got all 3 of them. And then I ended up getting this one at my local bookstore. So potentially gonna read this. I don't know if I'm gonna keep them though, because a lot of people who I know have read these books say that it is kind of really slow in the beginning, and I'm not really up for that kind of stuff, but I'll give it a shot. So I don't know, I might get rid of them. I don't know yet, but I will read them, and I will do a review on them soon in the future, at some point. So looking forward to that. I don't know if I'm gonna do each a separate video or if I'm gonna do like an overall arcing video or not, but I believe that's all of the series ones. Actually, no. So sorry, they're all everywhere. So I don't believe this is the whole entire series, and I don't know the order in which these are in. Actually, let me move the camera here. Woo. Give me a minute, sorry. Woo. Okay, so for this series, I actually didn't buy these books. My school campus, they have 2 bookshelves in the English department where people just leave books. They're free to take. They're just, you know, if people have bought books and they don't want them anymore, but they also don't want to sell them and they want other people to enjoy them, they'll just leave them there and anybody can take them. So somebody left 4 books from the Game of Thrones series. So I never watched the series and I've never read the books, but I have always kind of wanted to read the books. I'm not even sure which order they're from. I have A Dance with Dragons after the Feast, and then A Storm of Swords, Blood and Gold, and then this is A Storm of Swords, One Steel and Snow, and then A Dance with Dragons, Dreams and Dust 1. So I believe, yeah, so here's how they are segregated. So I don't think this is the whole entire series. I believe there's more in this series, and I don't even think I have the first book in it, but I'm fine with having these. Also, one of them came with a map, apparently, which I was really surprised by. Or like, yeah, it came with a map, which is crazy to think. Like, you do not know how many times I have actually gotten decent, like, free books at this bookshelf and nobody grabs them. So this also came with one of them, and this was free, mind you. I feel really bad for taking all of them, but nobody else was grabbing them, and I had never read the series before, so but I will get started on it. So yeah, next I have, so let me grab these guys. Okay, so next I have, these are from, I got them from the bookshop that's local, and I always wanted to get some of the classics and Shakespearean books, and I've read a few of these. They are old and they are used, and a few of the ones that I had read from Shakespeare, I believe I've read Romeo and Juliet, and I've also read a little bit of Hamlet, and then the other one has, I've also read, what is it? I think I read a little bit of Midnight Summer's Dream and As You Like It. I've read the whole As You Like It, and I've also read The Tempest. And these are just basically some older collection pieces of Shakespeare. So there were multiple versions at the store, and these were about like $2, $2 to $3. So I really wanted to get them, and I thought I could add them to my collection. I do have the original Romeo and Juliet, but I didn't have The Tempest or As You Like It, which is one of my favorite stories as well. And then my cousin gave me this book, and it's more of like a self-help book, and it's Resisting Happiness. And she gave me this for my birthday, which was not too long ago, and it was the most weirdest thing to open this, because I was like, resisting happiness. I'm like, what? So it's by Matthew Kelly, and on the front it says, a true story about why we sabotage ourselves, feel overwhelmed, set aside our dreams, and lack the courage to simply be ourselves, and how to start choosing happiness again. So interesting, weird title, but I mean, I might read it in my spare free time. Next, moving on to standalone, well, not standalone, some of them are in series, but some of them are, I don't have the other books that are in the series, or I do, but they're not here with me. So I got 50 Shades of Grey. I got this a while back, I believe at Goodwill. I just wanted to accumulate a pile of books so that I can show you guys of what I got. So I did get 50 Shades of Grey. I have yet to read it, and this was based off of Twilight, so I'm not really I did see the movie, and I don't know if I would keep this book or not. I'm just interested in it, and it wasn't that expensive, so I got it. And then the other book that I do have but not with me is The Fifth Wave, so I did buy the second book, I believe, in the series, yes. The Infinite Sea. I did not actually get to read The Fifth Wave when I had... It's with a friend of mine right now, and I have the hardcover of that, and I wish I had gotten the hardcover of this one as well. I have yet to see the movie as well, and I really just want to read this so badly. It's so pretty looking too as well. Like, oh, that is a beautiful cover right there. It even looks like great just in the camera. And let's see. And then I got this a while back too as well from my college campus's library. I got Pride and Prejudice, and I did buy this, and yes, it's gonna have this on here forever. But this is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I actually do own the original Pride and Prejudice. It's not with me right now though, but I have it in a collection of a bunch of other Jane Austen books, and that's with a friend of mine. And I did watch the movie of this, and I did actually hear that it was pretty good, and I also really love zombies, so love that. And then I don't remember if I actually own this already or not, but I did buy The Book Thief, and I don't remember if I have The Book Thief or not. If I do, maybe I'll sell it or give it to somebody. This is one of my favorite books. I loved this so much. I related to, I believe her name is Elisa. I don't remember her name. It's been a while since I read this book. It is so great, you guys. It's just so amazing. It's based off of Germany, Nazi Germany, and it's about a girl who, she's an orphan, and she ends up growing up in the war, and she talks about how like literature impacted her life, and then there's a close friend of hers who she really bonds with over the years, and it's just a really, really great story. And the way she just talks about like how she grew up and appreciating language and literature and all of that. And one of my favorite things about this book, if you don't know, it's not told through the perspective of the main character, it's told through the perspective of death. And you figure that out within the first like few pages. So yeah. And you know, one thing I love about like sometimes getting older books is that like people like write things in it. So like seeing like everybody who had this book, it's interesting to see that. Another great classic book that I also got, but this was from a different library nearby, and I believe it was for like a few cents. And it is The Secret Garden. I remember watching some kind of cartoon adaptation of this when I was younger, and I loved it, and I never got to read the book. I didn't even really know that it was based off of a book, but it is a classical piece of literature, and I love the classics, and I can't not wait to read this. I believe they're actually making a new adaptation of this book, and it's not too long to the point where like I don't think I cannot read it, and guys, I really just want to start reading again. I really miss it. Sorry about that. And yeah, so the next book, I don't know if I talked about this, but I did buy the second book in the Legend series, Prodigy. I didn't really completely enjoy the first book. I mean, it was good, and I still want to finish reading this. I don't know if I would give this away or not. It is good. I just don't think I'm the right demographic for it at this point, but I do still want to read it. Yeah, so there's that one, and that's by Maria Lu. If you guys don't know, the story behind this is about a girl and a boy, and a girl named June and a boy named Day, and it's told through both of their perspectives. So like I think every other chapter it's told through one of their perspectives, and June is a part of the law enforcement in this world, and Day is a criminal, and they end up helping each other to figure out an investigation going on within the city. It is a dystopian, I believe, and it's been a while since I read the first book. If you guys want to know my thoughts on the first book, I do have a video review, and I also actually did drawings or recreations of some drawings of June and Day, and I want to do some more, not just on this book series, but like on other book series as well. Maybe even on the Hunger Games, so who knows. But yeah, and I love the artwork of this as well. And the way it looks like it's like spray painted on. A few books that I never actually heard of and that I don't know if anybody else has. There's two. One book that the reason why I got this was because one of my favorite movies is called Hard Candy, and I want to do a review on that movie so badly. It's a really, really great movie, and my cousin actually made me watch it for certain reasons. But I saw the title of this book and I was like, oh my god, was this movie based off of a book? But no, this Hard Candy is one of my favorite movies, but this book is called Candy, and I've never heard of it, and I never heard anybody talk about it, so I don't know if it's well known. I don't really know much about it. I'm one of those people who does sometimes pick books by their cover or by their title, but I also did read a little bit about it. So I'm just gonna read the back of it. Joe is a kind kid from the right side of the tracks who cares about his music and not much else until he falls for a girl named Candy. It starts as an attraction, a crush, and then turns into something more like an obsession. Joe wants to be a part of Candy's world, but it's full of things he's never gone near before. Sorry, I can't read. Never gone before. Drugs, violence, desperation. The darker it becomes, the closer he gets to Candy's true identity. Sometimes love means tremendous pain. Sometimes love means heart-pounding danger. Sometimes love is sweet, but more often it stings. Joe is going to try to save Candy from the darkness, even if it means risking everything. And the author of this is Kevin Brooks. So I think it's so cute, and I really, really like the cover of it. I like her hair. But I just thought the back, it just intrigued me. It also kind of reminds me of, ironically, the TV show You, which I finished the second season of, and oh my god, I want to do a review of it. I might actually do that after making this video. If you guys see the next couple of videos and I look like I'm wearing the same thing, there's a reason why. Because I was filming a lot of videos on that day. But yeah, I should do a review on those two TV shows, because I loved that TV show so much. The ending was kind of predictable a little bit, but ironically this character's name is Joe as well, so but that's part of the reason why I wanted to pick up this book. I did get this at the library as well. Another book that I got is called Maybe, and it's by Brent Runnin? I cannot pronounce his name. And author of the Burn Journals. So this is a very, very short, small, thin book. I did like the cover. It is headlights. I noticed like a lot of like movies and TV shows have been doing this kind of like thing lately. Anyway, so I don't really know too much about this book, and I just thought it looked interesting. In the back, it's just like a bunch of lines that say, maybe everything will be different here, maybe I should drive away and never come back, maybe my brother didn't mean to, maybe my brother was right, maybe I can get my girlfriend to say yes, maybe no one will ever love me, maybe I should be an actor, maybe I shouldn't pretend to be deaf, maybe if I just mouth the words, no one will know I'm not singing, but maybe someone will hear me anyway. So I just thought that that was really interesting, and it was only like a few cents, so yeah, maybe. My friend thought it was a poetry book, but I don't believe that it is. I think it's actually like a real story. I just thought it seemed interesting. Another book, which I do own, this author's first memoir, and it got turned into a movie, and it's one of my favorite movies as well, and I should do a review on it and the book. I loved the book so much. I had to read it for a high school class, I believe, and I knew that she wrote other memoirs, and I just never looked into more of them. So this is Jeanette Wall's Half Broke Horses, a true life novel. And for those of you who don't know who Jeanette Walls is, she wrote The Glass Castle, and oh my god, it is such a great novel. The movie is almost just as great. I forget what his name is, but he plays her father. And for those of you who don't know, the story is mostly centered around her growing up. It is based off of her real life. And it's her growing up and her moving from place to place. I believe she lived in Arizona for a long time. And it also centers around her father a lot and how her parents weren't always there for her, but they did what they could with the means that they had. And it does center around her dad, who was also an alcoholic. And I forget what the actor's name is, and he did such a great job playing her dad. And I loved the book so much. It was one of my, I don't really read a lot of real based novels, but I love her work so much. The story was just so great, and I every time I read it, I feel like I'm actually like physically there watching and seeing everything that's actually happening. So this is another memoir that she did, and I just can't imagine. I believe it's more about her siblings. She does have a brother and I believe 2 sisters. I can't remember. But the first book, I believe her youngest sister was just a baby. So I think she does have 2 sisters. But it is such a great book, and I hope that you guys get to read it because it really makes you think a lot more about your life. And sometimes like I reflect on it and I think about like how my life, you know, isn't as bad. I know I have to say that, but like at the same time, I really love her work, and I was really surprised that I found this book. My friend actually, she came with me to go buy these books, and she found The Glass Castle and she bought that one. And she was like, oh, like, because we watched the movie together, and she's like, oh my god, I found the book. And I'm like, oh, you should really read it. And she was like, oh, she has another book too. And I'm like, oh, really? I want to buy it because I have the original Glass Castle. And she showed it to me. I was like, yes, like, I'm so happy. So I got that one. And then I believe I have the first book of this. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read this book. I can't remember if I do have the first one. I want to say I do. I might not. I can't remember. If I don't, then I'll buy it one day. But I did read the first book. If I say, I also saw the movie. So where she, it just hit my head. Where she is now, I believe I bought this, I want to say I bought this at the library as well. But I don't know if, I don't think I ever heard anything like good or negative about this sequel. Sometimes sequels like this, they don't get any positive, like not any, they don't get any reviews off of it, but I do want to read this. It's been a while since I read the first book. I would love to do a review on it, and the movie as well. It was an okay movie. I did watch the movie before I read the book. This was before like I even got involved with literature, but yeah, I bought this. So yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the original is about a girl who gets into a car accident, and she's basically looking over, she's kind of like, she's in a coma, and she has an outer experience and is debating on whether or not she should stay or leave. And I'm not going to talk anymore about it because it kind of spoils a little bit, but not really, but it's, you know, it's not that bad of a book. Then I'm going to save the best for last. So the 2 best for last. Actually the 3 best for last. So this also was turned into a movie. These last books were all turned into movies. This one not too long ago. I'm really surprised that the library was getting rid of this. And it looks like it's in really in good condition. So I don't know why they got rid of it. So yeah. The next book was made into a movie as well, and a lot of you guys, I've never seen the movie. I didn't know it was based off a book. I feel like that's just a reoccurring thing with me, but I heard that it's really, really great, and I don't really know much about it, which I think is kind of sad because the movie came out a while ago and the book has been out for a while too. So I got The Help book, and this is in really good condition, so I'm really surprised that they were selling this from the library. It's by Catherine Scott. I cannot pronounce names. As you can tell, I've been avoiding pronouncing everybody's name in this video. Really sorry to all the authors. I really appreciate all your work. I just can't pronounce names. But I heard that it's a really, really great book. This is a deluxe edition apparently, and there's like no writing in it, none whatsoever, so I'm really surprised that they were selling it. And it also comes with a tassel, so it has a purple tassel in it. So it looks like it's brand new, surprisingly. So yeah, I'm really happy to have this in my collection. It is really heavy as well, so I don't really know much about it, but I do want to read it. The next book, I do own the first book, and I thought it was so great, and the movie was also really great. It has one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite couple characters. Both of the characters in the book are really, really great, and I love them so much. And God, and this is the sequel to it, so it is After You by Jojo Moyes. I cannot pronounce names to save my life. 20% off. No. This was actually probably $1, I believe. But I was really surprised that the library was selling this, and I'm not too surprised. I did hear a lot of people said that they didn't really like the sequel to this, but I really wanted to read it. For those of you who don't know, the original is about a girl who, I believe she's from Wales or Scotland, I can't remember, and she basically I think she decides not to go to school, and she ends up taking care of this paraplegic guy who I believe in the first like few chapters you learn that he got into a motorcycle accident, and she ends up taking care of him, and they end up falling in love with each other, and the ending is really, really sad. I'm not gonna say anything about what happens, but basically this is the continuation of that. And you know, I wasn't really surprised to find out what this second book was about, because I kind of had a feeling of what was going to happen with this. But it's a really, really great story, and I love it so much. I don't read a lot of contemporary books. I feel like I'm not having like this in the frame. We should move that a little bit. I don't read a lot of contemporary books, even though I just showed a few of them, but I loved this book so much. I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I do, and I love the movie so much more as well. I think the actors are amazing. I forget what his name is, and he plays Will in the movie, and he also plays Finnick in The Hunger Games, and he's one of my favorite actors of all time. I love him so much. But yeah, so I got that, and then we're gonna save the best for last. It is one of the heaviest, and I don't read a lot of this. Is kind of classic, not so classic, but like kind of almost like stereotypical. It did become a movie, a two-parter movie. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a horror book. So, and the second part recently came out. I'm a really big fan of horror movies and horror TV shows and investigation shows, and I love it so much. For those of you who have yet to watch my Dark Crystal review, I really like the Dark Crystal, and I cannot wait until they come out with the second season, because I am looking forward to that. Same thing with You. I feel like You, if they rehash the story again, I don't know if I'm gonna like it as much, because they kind of insinuated a lot at the end, and I was just like, I don't think this is gonna end very well, and I kind of feel like they should just like quit while they're ahead with that storyline and kind of like change it a little bit. I don't know, just saying. But so this funny story is that when I first moved here, I saw this book at my local bookstore 3 years ago, and it was just sitting there smack dab on the cashier's table, and I was just like, I want to buy that book so badly, because I am a really big fan of horror, and I think I did watch the original movie. They did a recreation of it, and when I first saw the book, I was like, oh my god, I really want to read it, because like this is a well-known author, and this is a great, like, they made a great movie out of it, and I really want to read it, and I heard it was a really great story. And like 3 years later, I finally bought it. It was a little pricey, but I mean, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I bought Stephen King's It. So I don't think I've seen a lot of reviews on this book or on Stephen King's novels. He's been known to be pretty wordy and have bizarre stories. But I really, really would like to do a review on this, and also on the movies. I actually, surprisingly, I didn't get to see the second movie in theaters, so I'm waiting for it to get either be on Netflix or get to rent it from my local library. But I love it so much. There's just something about it that I really like. I think it's just I really like it, not the book. It, the actual creature. So he's one of my favorite characters, and I just, even though I really hate clowns, especially scary clowns, but this thing is huge, dude. Like, and then it has Stephen King on the back. There we go. But yeah, for those of you who don't know the story, and yes, I did watch the movie before I read the book. This thing is big, okay? It's gonna take me a while. But for those of you who don't know the story, it's basically about this group of kids who, I cannot remember, the Losers Club, is that what they're called? This group of kids who basically, they're all from different backgrounds, and they live in a town called Derry, and the town, of course, has some horror stories and, like, is kind of haunted, and then there's this creature that's called It. So it can be any manifestation of fear, or it basically just like feeds off of fear. So then they have to try to get rid of it when they're kids, and then I think like so many years later they all move except for one person, and then they're adults, and then they have to come back to the town of Derry because it has come back again. So I don't know how closely they were to the source material. I did see the first movie, the original, way back when, and then the second movie, I didn't see the ending, so I don't know how it ends. So, I mean, I kind of know how it ends, but at the same time, like, it's been a while since I've seen the original adaptation of this book. So, yeah, I am really excited to read all of these beautiful books, and a part of me kind of just wants to, like, so all of these books, it looks like I bought a lot, and I did, but you have to remember that I bought some of these, and they were like 75 cents. So, at that point, they were just basically handing them to me. Plus, like, 5 of these I got for free. So, can you blame me, really? I mean, now I have more books to move, because for those of you who don't know, I'm moving to a new apartment. Yay! So yeah, there's gonna be a lot in the works. I am gonna make a video about like things that have been happening in my life lately. I did kind of do something similar, and I think I'm just gonna scrap that video and just redo a new video and just talk about like what's been up and bothering me and like life and all that. But this was really fun to do, and just like looking at all these books, I really just wanna read more, and I feel like just to like throw this in for fun. So this book, I don't own it, but it's been on my reading list for a while, and actually I'm a part of a book club now, and I got to choose this month's book, and the book that I chose, which I'm renting from the library, is called Don't Turn Around, and I have yet to read it. I think I am gonna have to listen to it on audio, but I'm also gonna read it simultaneously. So yeah, but it is by Michelle Gagna. So it's basically about a girl who, I believe a group of teenagers who, I want to say it's a girl though. It's a girl who goes on the run and goes off the grid, and then she gets captured and ends up becoming a part of this underground organization. It kind of reminds me of the movie that I just recently saw called Six Underground, I think, with Ryan Reynolds. That was a little bit interesting of a movie, but I really wanted to read this, and I also kind of didn't want to pick like a really super like high fantasy book for them to read, but one of the books that we read in that book club, I am going to do a review on soon, because I also saw a movie of it, and it might be just like a combination of the two. So yeah, I really want to read more, and I miss my old books that the books that my friend has, like probably like 3 or 4 boxes full of books that I just own, and I don't remember what I have, so I miss them. So hopefully I'll get to be reunited with my books again and my collection can flourish. But I hope you guys enjoyed this book haul. Really had a lot of fun doing it. I am gonna be filming a lot of videos today, so if I look like I'm in the same clothes, there's probably a reason why. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to do some more videos in the future. So I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, and I'll see all you guys in the next one. Bye.